Oh, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we got our 01 330 Ci vert in the shop. We're gonna do some work on her today. If you remember the last walk around video, probably have an idea of what we need to get done. It's gonna get greasy. I did not get a chance to power wash the underside of this, so I know I'm gonna be head to toe in grease, but it is what it is. We'll clean up as we go along. Over here, I got it set up with what we're gonna be doing. Main goal is the oil pan gasket. With that comes some, while you're in there, obviously we'll do an oil change. While we're in there, I've got some more oil. Obviously takes more than 5 quarts. We had a bad fan clutch. Engine mounts. While we're in there, we got to drop the subframe to get the oil pan gasket out. I've also got transmission mounts in case we need them. I don't remember how they look, so we'll have to take a gander again while we're under there. We got to replace our worn out control arms. If you remember, the outer ball joint on the right side was really bad. A lot of the pops weren't in great shape. And we got some sway bar bushings as well. Pretty much everything, all OEM limb order. Really like their products. They all come from FCP Euro, lifetime warranty. I actually opted for the ZHP arms. It's about $100 more for the pair, maybe a little less than that, but it's just a better all around control arm. The ball joints are all steel versus a composite on the non-ZHP arms. The arm itself is the same, the geometry is the same, it's just a better ball joint. And even though, you know, this thing's a 175,000 mile salvage title car, there's no reason you can't spend a little bit of money just to make sure it goes down the road the right way. We got a few other parts still in the box, but we're not going to get to those today. This is going to be quite the project, and it's some of it's overlap, which is good. We got to drop the subframe down, but I think what we're going to start first is taking out the control arms. We won't put them back in because it just kind of be in our way, but with the subframe in place, makes things a little more rigid to kind of knock those ball joints out and get that stuff out of the way. From there, we can go through the rest of it. So I've got some channel news that I want to update here as well. One, I've got a new mic. Was just using the phone mic before, so I'm hoping that this sounds a little better for y'all and don't have some of that volume fading in and out as I move in and away from the mic, from the phone. So so the other news, proud to say, I got approved for YouTube memberships. So you should see in this video a link that if you want to join the channel, there's some options for you that you can support this channel directly. You certainly are not obligated to do this. It's just a feature that YouTube allows us to make a little revenue. As you know, all my projects are self-funded. So I got to buy, work, flip, sell parts, whatever, to keep this channel going. If you guys want to support the channel, much appreciated. If not, that's not a problem at all. I just enjoy that y'all are watching. At least hit that subscribe button. I'm very, very close to getting to that 1,000 mark so I can start getting some ad revenue. So again, that'll just help the channel grow. Again, if you'd like to join, much appreciated. Totally understand if not. And let's get back to work. Start out, we need to get her up in the air a little bit, drop the oil out. We got to get our engine support bar across the fenders to support the engine so we can lower that cross member down. So I'm gonna get you set up here and let's start getting some work done. Well, we got her up in the air, got topside pretty much prepped, got our engine support bar in. Supported just with this lifting point here. That's all you really need to hold the engine up. Undid the air box, and we removed the retaining nut for the dipstick tube because we'll want to lift that up and out of the way when we drop the pan. I'm not going to pull it out now just in case the oil's a little high. I don't want it dripping all over the floor. We're going to drain the oil. Cracked open the oil filter housing. Let all that oil in the oil filter housing go down into the pan. And then we removed our fan shroud and clutch fan. Obviously, we need to replace the clutch fan anyways. Let's go underneath and I'll remind you guys what we're working on here. All right, here you can see into the belly of the beast. She is grimy. I really should have power washed this. Oh wow. We can scrub ourselves up too. But anyway, obviously we've got our oil pan back here. That's the major source of this leak. That's gone all the way back to the trans pan. So that's just a huge mess. But anyway, I think the first step that we're gonna do down here is we're gonna drain the oil, get that out of there, draining, and then we can start tackling these control arms. So they attach here at the subframe. There's a nut on top that you can reach. I wanna clean all this stuff off before I start reaching in there so I'm out of slime. And I'll pop the wheels off. Got a ball joint there to take out, and then just undo the lollipops and the control arms will fall out. We can leave the steering rack alone and bolt it into the subframe. I thought about maybe pulling the entire subframe just to give a little more work, but I don't know that's gonna give a ton of room. We will undo the sway bar. I found that also gave us a little bit more room, just having that swing down out of the way. But first thing first, let's get the oil out and then we'll get our control arms off. All right, so you can see we got that inner ball joint all popped. So 22 mil from the top. On the left side, you can actually get to it from the top with a long extension of swivel. The right side, maybe with a swivel socket that I don't have. And then you just get in there with a pickle fork and a hammer and they pop right out. So I got I've got the outer ball joint unbolted. 18 mil was this one. For some reason, the driver's side was a 19 mil. So one of these is not the same brand as the other because of different hardware. And once you get the bolt off, just a pickle fork in there again, a couple love taps on the knuckle itself. You can split that off. Then we take our two 16 mils at the lollipop and that whole arm will come down. Now, you want to also make sure, if you've got Bisene on auto leveling headlights, you want to undo this guy right here. He bolts into the control arm with a 13 mil. I've seen tons of those arms broken off because people take the control arms out, not realizing that that's there. So you want to make sure you get that out of your way first. So let me go ahead and break this ball joint out and we can get the control arm off. I'll save you guys your eardrums from listening to me bang away, but that's basically all you do. Just kind of get a pickle fork in there and a couple of good love taps. She should pop right out. All right, we got both control arms with lollipops out. No need to actually pull the lollipops off because we're just replacing them. We got ones with the bushings already pressed in. Not a big deal. I was looking for some maker marks. I don't see really anything. They're definitely two different brands. You see the castings are just a little bit different. So this was our offending ball joint. It doesn't actually feel terrible doing this, but when we had it loaded up on the car, it was pretty loose. The other ones are pretty loose. Same thing on this side. Not terrible. The lollipop, this side is pretty loose. This side is just gone. I don't know if it'll get you in there, but it's all tore up. This side doesn't seem to be torn. When you're in there, you just do them both. So we got a little bit more room for activities under here without those control arms in the way. Like I said, we really don't need to do it to do the oil pan, but they were worn out. We got to do them. And it's a lot easier to replace them when they're still bolted to the subframe. And the subframe's bolted to the car, so it's nice and solid, so you can really wail on them. Doing this off the car, them dangling down, everything's moving around, not gonna be a good time. So now we gotta go start attacking this oil pan. So I need to disconnect the steering shaft, sway bar out of the way, and then pretty much just start dropping down. So I'm gonna clean some tools up here a little bit, put them away so I know where they are when I need them, and we'll get back to work. All right, well, we got the subframe out. I wasn't gonna totally remove it, but it's only 2 more bolts to get the steering rack out of the way and get the whole thing out of the way. Then we can change the mounts on the ground. We'll clean it up, make it look pretty. Oh, welcome aboard the Exxon Valdez. Holy crap, this is so nasty. I really wish I power washed, but oh well, it is what it is. We'll do this oil pan gasket. I think that's the majority of this oil. And you see I got the whole subframe out of the way. Just a lot more room under here. We probably still will, and maybe we won't have to move the sway bar, but maybe, I don't remember. It's got to come down around that oil pump. Might give us a little more room. So I got a whole crap ton of 10 mils to do on both sides and a couple e-torques on the back. This pan will be out. I think that's probably where I'm gonna call it for today. All right, well, it's been a couple days. Finally back to the red vert. I did get the oil pan in. I'll show you that in a little bit. I didn't show you the whole steps of the way, just I did it on the silver car in a previous vid. I'll link that in the description here. But you can see we got our old control arms with the lollipops, new control arms, new lollipops, and some Dawn dish soap. That seemed to work the best last time when we put these things together. So I'm gonna start doing that. I think I'm gonna get these, get the lollipops on, and because it's a lot easier to do it now that's out of the car. And I think I'm actually gonna clean up the subframe, bolt these to the subframe itself, and then we'll go ahead and stab it all back up. It's gonna be a little heavier, a little more awkward that way, but just access to, especially to these inner control arm ball joints, it's just a lot better with the subframe out, or at least down. So I think I'm just gonna do that. We'll get it hung up in no time. So we wanna go ahead and get these lollipops on. You're not gonna be able to just stick it in dry. It needs a little bit of lube. So make sure you grab something to use. Like I said, this Dawn dish soap just worked really well. So you're just gonna go ahead and dribble some there on the shaft, and just coat it all the way around. Make sure it's well coated. A little bit of driving in the rain will get any of the excess off and won't really harm the bushing at all. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw some on the bushing. Just again, make things a little slippery, and get in there nice and deep like. Yeah. So that should be more than enough. I already clocked these. These are different side to side. So having the old one out there to match it up is gonna help us. So, and these are, if you remember, you can see in there, it's not square. It's wider one way than another, so they only go on one way. And then once you get it in position, you should be able to just kind of push around down. There we go. In like Flynn. All right, you just need to get in there and you're good to go. You can see we got them lined up. You got this recess that goes around the bungs on the frame of the car. Matches that end. So you just need to do the same. Get it lubed up, stick it in, and we'll grab the subframe and bolt her up. All right, so we got it all assembled. Actually got both engine mounts on as well. And I think next up is we're just gonna slide it under, and I think I'm actually gonna mount it at the outer ball joint first. And then the center, the subframe can actually just kind of be suspended. I don't think that'll be any issue because that's basically what you normally do is you just drop the subframe, let it hang off the control arm. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Slide it in there, we'll get her bolted up, get our lollipops all bolted in, and we should be well on our way to reassembly. Well, we got the subframe all back in with the new lower control arms. I can tell you for certain, sorry I don't got much light under there yet, but I can tell you for certain the way I tried to stab this back in was not the way at all. It was way too floppy, way too hard to handle, so we just went ahead, knocked those control arms back off, put the subframe up in, and got everything bolted back in, threw the control arms back in. We're all set. So our next plan of attack is going to be these sway bar links on the backside there. We just need to disconnect them at the sway bar itself. Then at the top of the strut up here, we'll turn our wheel, get a little better access. These were, I think just the boots were a little torn up on them. And, while you're in there, might as well throw some on. They're dirt cheap, maybe 10, 15 bucks a piece. So we'll knock those out quick. Then we got to do our steering rack boots. You might be able to see they're both split. Kind of missed that on the initial walk around, but when the steering wheel's straight, the bellows kind of bunch up. You really can't tell. I'll do that. Then we've got our, let's see, we've got to do our power steering reservoir and the one line. One of them looks pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about that. It's just a little greasy, grimy. We'll clean that all up. And we should be done with this. So a couple more hours worth of work. I mean, probably less, but I like to take my time, just make sure everything's in there right, double checking. I did want to show you this. This is the old engine mounts. I should have shown you before I put the new ones in to compare, but you can see the height difference. I'm pretty sure this one was a passenger side. Makes sense that that one might be a little lower due to the heat from the exhaust, even with the shield. Just so it's get kind of beat up a little bit more. But they are definitely collapsed. So it's a good thing that we're in there doing them. I'm sure they're the original from 2001 when this car was built. So while we got the subframe down, we'll slap those in. So yeah, I need to go ahead, get those links in, do that power steering thing, and we should be just about wrapped up and we can get this thing moved on. I do have someone that's interested in it. He's been messaging me all week to see if it's done. And we're just trying to finish her up and move it down the road. Oh, I think we got everything all situated. New control arms are in, new rack boots, all new clamps, both sides. We got our oil pan all set to go, cleaned up as best as I'm going to get it. New lollipops on. So we're pretty much all set to go. We do still need to do this power steering line. Kind of up in there. I've already sucked out the reservoir, so I'm just going to disconnect that, drop that out, and we should be about done. Power steering reservoir in, the new line going down, secured underneath as well. Got the fan blade, the clutch fan replaced. So this was actually replaced upon once already, so it looks like it was 2017, at least if this fan was made. I don't know, it just says made in China on this fan clutch, so it's no wonder that it's bad. I mean, it barely turns, so it was froze up pretty good. It's just 3 Allen heads that are that hold it in place. Take those out. If your fan is older, you do want to check each fan blade for cracks. They can crack, and when they do, they go flying. They dent your hood, take out cooling system components. So really definitely want to, if you've got it off, inspect your fan blade. This one looks good. It's got a new clutch fan. Hopefully it doesn't sound like a Greyhound bus anymore. Well, we're pretty much done. Got everything buttoned back up here. We just got to stab the fan and the shroud back in, our air box, and check our oil level. Add some ATF on the power steering, then fire it up. Unfortunately, I don't have any ATF. I thought I did. So I'm going to have to clean up, run out to the parts store and get some. But for you, it'll just be a couple seconds anyway. But let me get that stab back in, and then I'm going to run to the store. Well, we got her all back together. Got the trans fluid. Got her topped off. Did check oil level. We should be good there. So I think as long as I haven't killed the battery from this thing sitting here for a bit, let's fire her up. I am going to bleed out the power steering a bit. Basically what I'm going to do is just going to run it and suck out the fluid from the reservoir and then fill her back up again. So let's give her a crank, see if she'll start. Yeah, she's a little low, but took them around. Then to help bleed some of that fluid through, we're just going to rotate the wheel back and forth. Got no oil light on, that's good, no weird noises. I did get in the yaw sensor for the DSC and brake light that are on, so we're going to slap that in too. I'll show you where that is. Let's just check her for leaks. See any power steering dripping, that's good. Obviously you don't see any oil dripping. That's our big headache. And I gotta tell you guys, this was probably the worst one I've worked on. I ruined 2 shirts doing this oil pan. It was so gross. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'm just going to cycle that steering a couple times, suck out some fluid, and we got the wheels on, put that sensor in, and we're done. Alright, so this here is the yaw sensor for the early cars. 9 of 2001 is about when they changed the design. So you need to know your build date, so you got the right one. You look down here, this one is 0101. So it is early style. You need to take the driver's seat out. That is the seat harness. Also, you really should disconnect the battery, because there is airbag sensors in there, and if you turn the car on with the seat unplugged, you'll set your airbag light. If you have input, it's easy to clear that light, but it's just better anytime you're playing with airbags, disconnect the battery. You need to take the trim out along the door sill. You don't need to take that one out. I just popped that one out to clean it. Then you fold back the carpet, and it's right down here. If you've got the later one, it's up here in front of the seat, but you still have to take the seat out. So I'm going to go ahead. It's just 210s that comes out. We'll swap the new one in, and hopefully that takes care of our DSC lights and the yellow brake light. It did on my 03, the autocross car. And then we'll get in here. We got to vacuum up some more glass. We got to finish cleaning. And then this project is done. Well, guys, apologize if there's a lot of echo. It is absolutely pouring outside. I think we're about wrapped up here on the 330 CI vert. Got the interior mostly cleaned up. Just a good, honest work. Just a good wipe down all around. I did steam clean the floors a little bit. I must have tracked a little dirt in there, but they came out pretty nice, I think. Everything wiped up nice. I mean, you're going to need a new console lid, and obviously the seat's still pretty tore up, but you know, it's a cheap car, so you got to keep that in mind. Like I said, I think we got everything done that we aimed to do on this. The guy is supposed to come here pretty quick, take a look at it. I don't know if he's planning to take it tonight. I did not get a chance to clean the outside or the engine bay. Floors down here cleaned up pretty nice. Just a little drill brush and my steam cleaner. So all in all, not a terrible job. Everything that we had to do, you know, the oil pan, the control arms, some while you're in there's with the engine mounts, sway bar links, that coolant, or the and the power steering reservoir in that line. Other than that, I mean, the brakes are good. They'll need tires by the end of the season. I'm not putting tires on it. But everything else works. Heat, AC works, windows works, top works. I don't know what else you want, you know. It's a cheap car, runs, drives. I think he'll get some good use out of it. I did get this fastened a little bit better. Ultimately, it needs to be replaced like they all do. They're pretty common to break apart. But I don't know, guys, what do you guys think? I think we turned this one around pretty good. I think... see, let's run down the tally in my head. We did winning bid was $500. Out the door was $560. At a $250 key, we're at $800. And I think I put about $500 in parts, so $1,400 in this thing. And I'm asking $2,500. What do you guys think? I think that's a pretty decent deal. Yeah, salvage title, but runs, drives, looks pretty decent. I think that's a no-brainer. If you're in the market for something like this, $2,500 is not a bad deal at all. So, I'm gonna end this one here, guys. Again, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little series. I'm gonna get them on the road. So, again, thank you everybody for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Share it with your friends if you can. The channel's growing really well. I'm real pleased with the growth, and we'll see you in the next one.